Yep, coming at you with another progressive motorcycle riding shoe review video. You're looking at the Reax Fulton waterproof motorcycle riding shoe. No, I didn't just pull these out of a box. I actually used these bad boys on a recent 9-day trip to Sturgis, 3,200 miles. I got to test them in all different types of riding conditions, all the way from 50 degrees to over 100 degrees. I got to hiking them, walking them, and riding them. I'm here to tell you my thoughts. So, no fluff, real world biker review. Just going to tell you what you need to know in case you're considering purchasing this motorcycle riding shoe. Welcome back, Bikeaholics. Ryan Erlacher here, lawabidingbiker.com. I always thank you, that's right, you, for checking back in. So if you're new here to the channel, I'll just let you know that I'm into less traditional and more progressive motorcycle riding gear. I'm not into big, clunky, heavy Harley boots with buckles. They're hot to ride in, and they're not that functional once you get off the bike. I'm definitely into riding shoes. They can be very protective while riding and very functional off the bike, and of course they have a stylish look, and these Reax Fultons definitely fit into that category. Oh, and real quick, this is not a sponsored video. I do want to give a shout out to Revzilla for sending the shoes out to me for review. No strings attached, so I can give you my honest opinions. Okay, the first thing you'll note about the Reax Fulton riding shoes, of course, is the awesome sneaker type look. They don't look like a traditional Harley boot. I like that a lot. You can walk in places people have no clue it's a protective motorcycle riding shoe. Now, I like the fact that I can ride cross country knowing that these offer a good level of protection if I go down. And then, like in Sturgis, I can jump off the bike. I can walk around all day. We did visit the Badlands too and did a little bit of hiking to look out points and things like that. So very, very functional and much more comfortable to walk and hike in, and definitely less hot than those clunky Harley boots. And while we're talking about walking and hiking in these things, all of these protective riding shoes that I've reviewed have a different level of stiffness, both out of the box and when they actually break in. So at a scale of 1 to 10, these, I would say, pretty stiff out of the box because they are full leather, maybe like a 7 out of the box. And I will tell you that it did not take but a couple days of riding and walking in these during our Sturgis trip that I broke them down, and I would say they're now at a 5 out of the stiffness scale, and I think they're probably going to remain right there. And I'll also say they were very comfortable to ride and walk in. I didn't have any weird pressure points or anything like that. I ordered normal size, American size, what fits me, 9.5. Got a 9.5, fits perfect, so you shouldn't have any issues there. And if you appreciate this video and all the free videos we put out on this channel, you can support us. I will put an affiliate link to these shoes in the description below. No additional cost to you, but if you click through and make a purchase, we do get a small commission. I really appreciate it. It definitely helps support us. So let's dive in a little bit deeper on what these are made of and how they're constructed. So the first thing you'll notice, these are made of full grain leather. And when you first get your hands on these things, you'll realize that they are quality. And you'll see that they have triple stitch construction all the way around. And you'll notice on the right shoe here, we have a shifter panel. One thing I do want to note that I'm noticing, and that is I appear to be getting some wear up here on the toe a little bit. Definitely something I'll be watching. And with that said, it looks like normal wear, and I don't think it's going to affect anything. So if you weren't aware, I not only tested these shoes, but a whole bunch of progressive motorcycle riding gear during my Sturgis trip. I did an overview video, which I'll pop a card for you, link in the description below. In that video, I show each piece of gear. In addition, on this channel, I'm going to do an individual review like I am on these shoes on each piece of gear. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and bell icon so you're notified when I come out with those review videos. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's got like a high grip texture all over the bottom of the sole. Good pattern, of course. And when you feel this, it's definitely like a softer rubber. And I will note that hiking around, walking around, I didn't have any problem slipping around. And they say it has a full-length composite midsole for added torsional protection. Sounds cool. So it has a moisture wicking liner throughout, and I'll tell you that I rode these from 50 degrees all the way to over 100 degrees. In fact, in the Badlands when we rode, it was 107 degrees and it was hot. And yeah, of course, they're leather shoes that, you know, you're going to sweat a little bit, but I will tell you that the moisture wicking liner did a really good job at getting rid of that sweat. And yes, it was 107 degrees. My feet were still a bit moist, but it did okay. And I guarantee clunky Harley boots would be 10 times as hot. Okay, so my son's playing tricks on me here, popping in and out of clouds. We'll get this adjusted real quick. Never fails when you're trying to film here. All right, so padded tongue, very comfortable. These are 100% waterproof shoes, and I didn't get to test them because it didn't rain on this trip, which is very unusual for us. But you also notice, because they're rainproof, they have the gussets in them, and the gussets are to channel the rain away, and so it doesn't go in your shoe. Both sides of the tongue, it's worth noting that the gussets don't go all the way up to the top. That's pretty standard on motorcycle riding shoes. They all stop somewhere in here. This one stops right at that notch. You can see that there. So be aware, if you're wearing rain pants, you want to have it below that notch and secured so that rain doesn't drip down into your shoe. I love waterproof riding shoes. It's one of the things I look for when I'm getting a riding shoe, because if it starts raining while you're riding, you may already have rain pants on and you don't have to stop. Or if you don't have rain pants on, you got to jump off your bike and put rain pants on. At least you don't have to change your shoes out. When it's pouring rain or hailing all of a sudden, that makes it really difficult to change shoes out. So very cool. And while we're up front here, you'll see this is a lace shoe. There's pros and cons to laces. Obviously, one of the pros is the look of the shoe. It looks like a really stylish shoe off the bike. Some other shoes that I've reviewed, like the Icon Patrol 2 boot, has a BOA lacing system where it's the click and turn ratchet type. That's really convenient for a motorcycle shoe, but then it tends to look more like a motorcycle riding shoe. At least with the laces, they put this webbing here to keep them secured, because one of the drawbacks to laces is they can get caught up in your controls. Nobody wants that. So they do secure them down with this webbing, and it does have a reflective stripe on it, it looks like. I do wish they had a little more up here to keep the laces, but I didn't have any problems with them getting caught up, so personal preference on that. I will definitely tell you, when you're lacing these, make sure you double knot them and tuck them down in here, just so they don't come undone in the wind and stuff like that, because you definitely don't want them flopping around and, again, getting in your controls. So moving on, we've got a protective cup in there, toe cup. It is very much reinforced. I cannot bend it with my fingers, so a lot of protection up in the toe. And they've also put the same protection. They put a really nice heel cup, same thing, you can feel it in there. If you go down, it's going to offer that heel and toe protection, which is super important and something I look for in a riding shoe. You've also got your ankle cups in here, also super important and something I look for, and you can feel those in there. Again, another thing when you go down that can really grind, and so you've got extra protection there on both sides. I really like this addition to these shoes. A couple things back here. Number one, you've got the pull loop for getting them on. That is always really nice, because they're a little bit stiffer shoes, so to be able to yank that and get them on. Also, really nice reflective stripe kind of embedded in there, obviously for visibility. That's always nice. And up the webbing here, this is cool. This is an Achilles flex panel, and I really like that they did this, because when you're on the bike, and especially when you're walking around like I was or hiking, you don't get that rubbing on the back of the shoe. It's a nice fabric, and I didn't have any rubbing on my Achilles. All right, my son is messing with me still. It's going down quick. We got to finish this video. A removable, replaceable insole, and that's one thing I just noted. It's coming apart, so that's something to be aware of. I guess I didn't really know that was happening because I hadn't taken this out of the shoe. I don't really think it'll affect anything. All right, just another thing worth noting, really it's personal preference. It depends on how you want your shoes to function, and of course how you want them to look. But on a shoe like this, especially a stiffer shoe, I would prefer a side entry zipper, like on these FORMA Hyper shoes that I bought, and I am going to be reviewing these too. I'm excited about these shoes, but they do have that side zipper. Just makes getting in and out a lot easier. Now, some of the different shoes have had some problems with zippers and things like that, so that's something to take into account, but I definitely prefer the ease of getting in and out of a shoe like this. And so far my testing, I'm loving these FORMA Hyper shoes too. If you're interested in these, I'll also put a link in the description below. Oh, and my apologies for the different lighting and the sun up and down, but I enjoy doing videos outside sometimes. So you can get these in 2 different colors. You can get them, this is the black and gum color, they call it, for the sole, and they also make a black, red, and white version. I personally preferred the subdued look of these. And at this time, coming in at $149, not bad for a shoe of this quality. And so durability, holding up fair. Couple things I mentioned, obviously the toe there, we're getting a little bit of wear there, and then the shock absorbing insole, of course, the materials kind of separating from the toe there. Other than that, I'm not noticing any major breakdown on this shoe. All right, we're done. The sun's officially going down.